25 conference, and it's of course a Jyotish combination of Jyotish and whole host of other esoteric subjects. So please, very much delighted and very much honored to have you here. I want to just hand it over to you, Swamini ji, and most welcome and thank you very much for honoring us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sonal.
Yeah.
We'll start with a prayer.
Yeah.
Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. So namaste to all the learned astrologers who I was hoping to meet in person and all the other listeners. The topic for today is how karma can contribute to liberation. So it is my privilege to address those who have dedicated their lives to Jyotisha, which is a very important Vedanga. So in today's talk, I will speak about the karma that cannot be given up and how all of you as astrologers are fostering Sanatana Dharma by your guidance on karma. I will also talk about how karma prepares you for a dedicated moksha pursuit. So as preservers of one of the oldest knowledge systems, you carry forward a tradition that has guided countless people through the complexities of everyday living. By doing our karma, we are preserving and propagating Sanatana Dharma. Long before the counselors and the therapists of the world, people have sought you for guidance and still seek your guidance. Through your work, you keep alive not just a system of prediction, but an entire worldview of karma and niyati, a cosmic world order, a worldview that sees the cosmos as an intelligent, meaningful order, rather than something that is random and purposeless. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. By me, in my manifest and unmanifest form, this entire universe is pervaded. And so Jyotisha is one of the Vedangas, helps us to understand how the macrocosm pervades, influences the microcosm. So how cosmic patterns influence and rather manifest in our individual lives. Yatha pinde tatha brahmande. As in the microcosm or the individual, so too in the total. So you help people see how cosmic principles play out in their personal lives and make the vast wisdom of Sanatana Dharma accessible and relevant to the contemporary seeker. So through your mathematical calculations and interpretations, you are helping people navigate their dharma, understand their karmic patterns, and also potentially align with their highest purpose. The indispensable karma of yajna, daana, and tapas. When Arjuna, somewhere in the 18th chapter, asks Bhagavan Krishna, what is the difference between tyaga and sannyasa? They are pretty much the same, renunciation. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, certain karmas cannot be abandoned on the spiritual path. Yajna dana tapa karma natyajyam karyameva tat. Yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. So acts of yajna, worship, daana, giving, and tapas, austerities, should not be given up. They must indeed be performed because all of these, yajna, dana, and tapas, are purifiers for the wise. These three forms of karma constitute the foundation of Sanatana Dharma. They are not optional, but essential components of a life that is lived in alignment with Dharma. And so we look into each of them, yajna, which means a sacred fire ritual offering. Again, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Saha yajna praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam eshavostvishta kamadhuk 3.10. In the beginning, having created human beings together with yajna, the Creator said, by this may you multiply. Let this yajna, this fire ritual offering, be the fulfiller of all your desires like a wish-fulfilling cow. The practice of Jyotisha is like a yajna which aligns with cosmic rhythms. And so when you interpret planetary positions with wisdom and when you offer your parihara remedies with compassion, you are participating in a yajna that aligns with the cosmic order. Some people say, I don't believe in it. Well, what you believe does not matter. You may not believe that Sunita Williams, astronaut, when in space, cannot sit in her spaceship. She has to be strapped or she has to float where she is. So here on Earth, you can sit on a chair because of gravity. So just because you don't understand how principles in another realm work doesn't mean it does not exist. So the Veda is a pramana and reveals what you cannot figure out by yourself through perception and logic. And so yajna becomes very important, this fire ritual offering, which of course has many other meanings as well. And Gita further explains our inseparable connection of the individual with all the devatas. Devan bhavayata nena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyatha. By this yajna, may you nourish the devatas, may you offer them whatever are the offerings. And in turn, may the devas nourish you. So thus, parasparam bhavayantaha, nourishing one another, each other, may you attain shreyas, may you attain the highest good. So in your work as astrologers, you are helping devatas as divine forces, helping people understand them, respect them, and live in harmony with them. So just like in a company, you have heads of departments who preside over certain functions, we also recognize devas as presiding deities. And in fact, Bhagavan goes on to say that if you enjoy objects that are given by devatas without offering to them anything in return, you are, a thief. Okay? Daidattana pradayabhyaha yo bhunkte stena eva saha. You are a stena, you are a thief. My God, like, strong words. But what does a thief do? A thief just takes, doesn't even ask for permission, just enjoys whatever he has stolen, and let alone acknowledgement, let alone any permission. There is no gratitude either. And in many ways, until we begin a relationship with devatas, with a sense of entitlement, perhaps we have been living as thieves on this Mother Earth. So Pitra dosha, Kula dosha, Graha dosha, all these different defects in the horoscope point out to us that we are living in silos, we have not acknowledged, and maybe we really need to connect with the devatas, recognizing our interconnectedness with them. And so we express this through our sacred offerings, which could be through elaborate homas, pujas, mantra japa, stotram chanting, according to the guidance that one receives. Now, we must remember that karma is a limited action, and hence it also has many alternatives. You may do, you may not do, you may do differently. Karma can give you apraptasya praptihi, which means gain of what you do not have. So, what you do not have, you can pray for wealth, health, peace of mind, partner, child, promotion, bonus, property, fame, etc. etc. So, thus, this karma of yajna is a sacred contribution. It blesses us with punya, gives us the courage to handle our life, and helps us with relative fulfillment in the areas of dharma, artha, and kama. So, all these different forms of yajna, puja, prayers, they really help us to expand our heart, seek help intelligently from the ones who can truly help us, and allow us to surrender, thus helping in our peace of mind and also its purification. So, yajna is a karma that is not to be given up and is extremely important, a very integral component of Sanatana Dharma. Then comes dana. So, Bhagavan Sri Krishna also says dana or giving is not to be given up. So, some people will say, no, no, I give up the idea. Well, that's not the idea, okay? So, what does he say about dana? So, danam is giving with the right attitude, what is appropriate to the right person at the right time with the right intention. So, Bhagavan Sri Krishna speaks in the 17th chapter. Datavyamiti yad danam diyate nupakarine desha kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. So, that giving, I somehow don't like the word charity, but let's go with it for now. So, that charity or giving, which is given knowing that it is to be done, it is to be given. To whom? To the one who does not expect a return. To the one in that is given in a proper place and time, and to a person who is worthy, that is considered satvika danam. So, a lot of the pariharas or remedies in astrology involve danam. So, it might be annadanam, giving of food, jaladanam, giving of water. In fact, in Agni Purana, Padma Purana, and a few other Shastra texts, Varidaha Tripti Mapnoti, the one who gives water achieves contentment. Then Sukham Akshayam Annadaha, the one who gives food gets boundless happiness. Godanam, one who gives 2 cows or gives cows, also is blessed. Then Vastra Danam, giving of clothes, Dravya Danam, giving of different other materials. All these and many others, including gold and property, was considered as Danam. Even Tilak Pradaha Prajam Ishtam, one who does Shraddha Karma by offering til, sesame seeds, gets a desired child. The one who gives light, Deepadaha Chakshuhu Uttamam, who gives light or makes light available to others gets good eyesight. Manusmriti says that you must give 1/10 of your earnings to charity, to people who are lesser fortunate than you or to people who deserve to be given. But when you are doing that, keep in mind the needs of your own family and that you should have enough savings to provide for your family's needs for at least 3 years. So the Gita also cautions, in this danam, if you give danam, yattu pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. But when you give with the expectation of return or with a desire for results or with great difficulty, you don't want to give, but you give, fraught with pain, then that is considered Rajasic Dana. And so, as astrologers, when you share your insight into cosmic patterns and encourage people to do Danam, you are helping them with the gift of clarity. You are helping them to open their hearts because Danam is in alignment with Dharma. And ironically, Danam as a remedy is advised to those who are faced with difficult situations or turbulence of the mind, because it helps a person to withdraw the mind's attention from I, me, and mine, and helps the person appreciate that I am blessed, that I am able to give. So, Danam really helps everyone to open up their hearts. So, as some of us know, the little squirrel was picking pebbles and keeping it near the big stones that were going to be a part of what now we know as Ramasetu, the bridge to Lanka. So Vanaras, who are monkey-like humanoids, said, get out of the way. You know, this pesky little squirrel that you are, just get lost. And that's the time when Sri Rama picks up the squirrel and strokes his back. And that's how they get their white stripes. And that's a message to the Vanaras that no person is too small to give, and no one is so big that they cannot receive. So, Danam is an important karma, an integral component of Sanatana Dharma, and it helps us to push the boundaries of the body and the mind. Another karma that is not to be given up, which also helps in the purification of the mind, is tapas. So, this is not the Spanish tapas that you eat alongside whatever you are drinking. So, tapas means sacred religious disciplines, austerities, the willingness to endure hardship for a specific purpose. So, in all of these types of karma, yajna, daana, and tapas, we are pushing the boundaries of the body and mind to finally realize that you are more than the body and mind. But we cannot wish it away. We have to push the boundaries. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna spends a little more time dwelling on the three types of tapas, threefold tapas. So tapas at the level of the body, at the level of the of vak, the organ of speech, and at the level of the mind. So at the level of the body, what is tapas, or rather sharirikam tapas? So sacred religious disciplines at the level of the body. Deva Vijaguru Pragnya Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharya Mahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So, austerities of the body are worship of the devas, worship of Brahmins, the ones who are twice born because they are devoted to knowledge, worship of the gurus, Shaucham, the practice of purity, cleanliness. Arjavam, practice of straightforwardness. Brahmacharyam, sexual discipline, as well as a committed pursuit of learning about Brahman, ahimsa, non-violence or non-hurting. All these are considered sacred disciplines. Why? Because they take a lot of effort. So to worship the devas, you have to gather materials. And to practice straightforwardness, again, some effort is required. Cleanliness, we all know how many times we have postponed the decluttering of things that have accumulated in our homes, in our wardrobes, and so on. So at the level of the body, devoting time, effort, energy, traveling long distances for study, for worship, for tirtha yatra, all these are considered tapas and they are very important. We hear so many instances of people incurring guru dosha, which manifests as things not working out in their life, in knowledge and finances and so on. And it's very likely that besides the position of Brahaspati, they might have disrespected the guru or may not have carried forward a particular tradition that they have been bestowed with. And so, Shariram tapas, very important. Then, but that's not enough. At the level of our karmendriya, organ of speech, tapas also has to be practiced, sacred discipline. A lot of us hurt people with our words, either because we are too blunt or we are too sweet, wanting to keep the peace and harmony and not speak the truth, or we just keep blabbering because of our pressure to talk. But we can elevate karma to a tapas. And so Bhagavan Krishna tells us, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. So this vak tapas, the sacred discipline, religious discipline at the level of the words, are speech that cause no distress. Words, speech that is truthful, satyam, which is priyam, which is pleasant, and which is hitam, beneficial. And your words, your speech, your time also needs to be devoted to the daily recitation, chanting of one's Veda, or some chants during the day, stotrams, or parayanam of some shastra. Some lot of people do Sundarakand, Ramayana, or Gita, or Bhagavatam. So I remember one astrologer was sharing with me that one of his clients had Pitra dosha. So he was advised to do Pitra Shanti. So Tila Homa was done and so on. But still, all the problems in his life were continuing. Then the astrologer found out from another source that this man had a foul temper and he had actually forcibly put his mother in an old age home. So he is incurring Pitra dosha by his actions and is doing remedies for it in terms of puja. But his words and his manner with his mother is not only unpleasant, but he is flouting his duty. So I know sometimes parents can be difficult, but one can always find a way to ensure that care is ensured for them. So, of course, the astrologer had to ask him to calm down and learn to speak pleasantly. It's really common sense, which is not common. So, at the level of our words, vak tapas, very integral, important karma. Because of this karma, we are incurring punya papa, and that papa is manifesting as dukkha in our lives. So before we run to the astrologer, it's important to ensure that our speech does not cause agitation and all the other things that I mentioned. Then, at the level of the mind, we have a tendency to be anxious, depressed, have no mastery over the mind. So even the ways of our thinking are elevated to manasam tapas. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Manah prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vidigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapo manasam uchyate. Serenity of the mind, making our mind think in ways that contribute to serenity. Saumyatvam, gentleness, maunam, absence of a pressure to talk, or silence from time to time. Atma vinigrahaha, mastery over the mind. Bhava samshuddhihi, very clean, pure intent. All of this together is called manasam tapas. So, tapas, sacred religious discipline at the level of the mind. In any profession, more so as a Jyotish, you have to observe physical tapas because different anushtanams, rigorous routines of worship that your tradition prescribes. Then the verbal tapas manifests in how you communicate your astrological insights. Speaking truth that may be difficult to hear, but in doing that with compassion and wisdom, and avoiding words that cause unnecessary distress. plus engaging in continuous self-study of sacred texts. So this manasam tapas is perhaps the most crucial for anyone because it's helping us maintain a certain clarity of perception. We have been given enough tools and more to manage ourselves, to learn mastery of the mind, to have emotional balance. And so the self restraint that is required to overcome our personal biases so that we can be clear channels. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna emphasizes the importance of all these three forms of karma: yajna, dana, and tapas. Why? Because it needs to be done. It purifies the mind such that your mind is available for all your pursuits, such that your mind is focused, such that you don't carry forward the baggage of hurt, guilt, regret, and so on. Then the Shastra speaks of three obstacles in knowing the unchanging nature of oneself. The same Veda that talks about the importance of karma and gives us a very elaborate menu of all the different kinds of karmas and meditations that are to be done, also tells us that you are much more than the doer. In fact, you are Chaitanyam, you are consciousness. But how does one get there? Well, there are three types of obstacles. One is mala. Mala means all impurities such as raga and dveshas, these cravings and aversions. I want my partner to change even after 30 years. I should be like this, you should be like this, the world should be like this. So these ideas we have which are not necessarily in touch with reality. Vikshepa, restlessness. So this is an issue now which is becoming like an epidemic across the world, right? Because of all of us, we are all very distracted. But it is an obstacle to knowing oneself. And avarana, which is a covering of avidya that veils our true nature. So through these karma that we have already looked at, yajna, dana, and tapas, we can take care of mala, these impurities such as raga and dvesha. And some of the meditations can also help us with vikshepa, restlessness, to a great extent. So ragas and dveshas, these cravings and aversions, can be reduced to preferences. So my partner should stop smoking can be modified to I wish my partner stopped smoking, but I will not reduce a person to only a specific behavior and withhold my affection. I will still relate to the person with regard to all other things. Or if I have dvesha, aversion towards my mother in law, so maybe I cannot stand my mother in law and hence want to avoid her at all costs. But that can change to, well, I will learn to accept that I cannot accept my mother in law, but still show her the respect of being the mother of my partner. I will try to at least have cordial conversations. So, through japa and meditation, we can become more focused. And then we are all also able to transform our karma into karma yoga. How do we do that? We align our karma with dharma. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. So in all the roles, whatever responsibilities that we play, we perform, we do the best that we can with the shaktis that have been given to us. So a cyber criminal could also say, I have karma yoga, but his karma is not aligned with dharma. And then karma yoga also says samatvam yoga uchyate. So just as in the temple we receive prasada, we don't quite know what we will receive, how much we will receive. But the fact that this ordinary object that you just brought from the shop outside the temple, now having touched the altar by the priest and then returned to you, acquires something totally different. that ordinary object is now prasada. It is sanctified, it is blessed by Bhagwan's grace. Why? How? Oh, it comes from the altar. So, seeing the results of karma, all our karma, as prasada, purifies us because we become more accepting of ourselves, of others, of our growing situations. And so, the transformation of karma into karma yoga, we are able to gradually cleanse our mind of I, me, mind, and the obsession of desires, which then addresses the mala aspect. Then, what about avarana? Avarana is the third obstacle I mentioned, which covers seemingly our true nature. So, here we go beyond doership, where we are preparing our minds for a higher truth. So, while your work as astrologers is very invaluable, the ultimate purpose of Vedic knowledge is to lead us beyond identification with the limited self to what we truly are, that is limitless consciousness. So the Bhagavan in the Gita, he says also that try to offer all your karma unto Bhagavan. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा. So the one who offers all karma unto Brahman and abandons all results, or rather dependence on the results, is not tainted by any papa, just like a lotus leaf is not wetted by water. The water just rests there like this luminous pearl. So you are living in the world, but you are untouched by the world as you offer your karma unto Bhagwan. Because you see that, really speaking, even the karma that you are able to do is because of Bhagwan's grace. Blessed as you are with Ichha Shakti, the power to desire, blessed as you are with Jnana Shakti, the power to know. Blessed as you are with Kriya Shakti, the power to do. So the ant also is blessed with all these Shaktis. The ant moves from one corner of the table to another, looking for that chocolate crumb. Has Ichha Shakti, I want that chocolate crumb. Then moves, Kriya Shakti is there. Then gets there and finds, oh my God, this is too big for me. I don't think I can lift it. Then few other ants come along and then they have the Jnana Shakti to collaborate. And haven't we seen few ants, they hold the burden, the weight of the chocolate crumb, and then they are headed towards their ant hill. So many Shaktis we are blessed with every moment, and Bhagwan has done no rationing that, oh, Shaktis are available to you only on Monday or only on Thursday. Nothing of that sort. It's always available to you. And so, as astrologers, you are helping people transform their karma and you are helping them with their antakarna shuddhi because of the remedies that you prescribe. You are helping them see the relationship between karma, the laws of karma, karma phala, results, and you also help them cultivate acceptance. So, one of the things that makes all of us struggle in life is because we resist reality. And so, as astrologers, you help them accept their prarabdha karma, destiny that has started unfolding with some level of equanimity, which is really what Bhagavan tells in the Gita. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. So same kritva, more or less treat them as equal. What? Gain and loss, labha, alabha, sukha dukkha. So pleasure and pain. And may you prepare yourself for karma. Of course, Arjuna is being told, prepare yourself for battle. Thus, you will not incur papa. You know, all this, the results of karma that is not aligned with dharma. So when we are aware of the patterns that are going to unfold in our lives, we know that, okay, this is going to be a challenging time, or this is going to be a flourishing phase. And so we grow in our acceptance that irrespective of whatever the phases are, I am not going to define myself by the way events unfold. Another thing that you'll do as astrologers is to speak about the other aspect of karma yoga, where we look upon our karma as worship. So we offer our karma unto Bhagavan. And then by doing that, we also understand our svadharma. So a lot of people probably come to you asking, what is my purpose in life? What am I supposed to do? And so you possibly help clients understand their swadharma given their unique position in life. What is the change that they could contribute to the world? What are their roles, responsibilities? Of course, samanya dharma, living a life of universal values is to be practiced by everyone. But our duties, our sacred duties towards our pitras, our ancestors, our sacred duties towards devatas, our sacred duties towards gurus, towards the Vedic culture. So, Rishi Yajna, Pitra Yajna, Deva Yajna, you'll point out that this is to be done in case there has been a dereliction of duty. And then over and above that, our sacred duties towards the environment, towards plants and animals, towards other beings, our neighbors, our community, through daana and so on. And of course, the change that one is here to contribute to in the world. So again, Bhagavan says, Shreyan svadharmo vigunaha paradharma svanushthitat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. It is better to perform your own dharma. Don't try to perform somebody else's dharma, because even if you die performing your own dharma, that's fine. But trying to do somebody else's job is fraught with fear. So now in all this talk of karma, at best one is a karta or a bhokta, a doer or an experiencer. So the great challenge both for you as astrologers and also for those who seek your guidance is to avoid being fixated at the level of doing karma. So the mode of being a karta identity and the mode of being a bhokta, an experiencer. We want to avoid being fixated, because all the time we're thinking, okay, what more karma to be done? What more experiences to be had? So yes, all these karmas are important, yajna, daana, tapas, and all the other pariharas that we go about, offering our karma to dharma, because dharma is a manifestation of Bhagavan. All of this is very important. Living a life of swadharma is non-negotiable. But then we also have to see the limitations of karma. Any karma, whether it is Vaidika karma, Laukika karma, can only have 4 types of results. So one is apyam, gain of what you don't have. For instance, Mahalakshmi Homa will give you wealth. Second type of result, samskaryam, purification. So you did Sangam Snan in the Kumbh Mela. You got punya, it washes away papa. Okay. Third type of result, vikarya, modification. So you have some pleasant communication with your partner. It can surely improve the quality of your relationship. Gamyam, which is reaching a place that you are not at. So you can also go and reach Swarga. Okay. So karma can only give us these 4 types of results: apyam, gain; samskaryam, modification; vikaryam, samskaryam is purification; vikaryam is modification; and gamyam is gain, reaching. Okay. Karma can only give us apraptasya praptihi, gain of what we don't have. But karma cannot give you praptasya praptihi, what you already are. So my beloved Guru Puja Swamiji would joke. Suppose if somebody is praying, I'm really not happy with my mind. I wish it was different. Then Bhagwan will wonder, now this person has already been given a head. So is he asking for another head? And if indeed he's asking for another head, that means I will have to give him two heads. So like Ravana had 10 heads. So should we then give the second head on top of the first head, or should it be aligned with the first head? You know? So if one is not using the uh, intelligence that one has to understand the limitations of karma, then the Upanishad says you are, and if you die away without using your intelligence, then you are a kripanaha, you are a miser. So may you use your intelligence to understand what your true nature is. Because it seems like there is an avarana, there is a veil that covers your true nature. And that same Gita, which talks so elaborately about karma, also points out to the fact that the problem of death has no parihara. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuho dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyethe natvam shochitum arhasi. So for that which is born, death is certain. For that which is dead, birth is certain. Tasmad apariharyate. But for that which is which is certain, which obviously is death, which cannot be changed, please do not grieve. Do not have any sorrow for that. So death is what? Is there any parihara? Is there any remedy for death? You can try to prolong your life. Okay, but there is no remedy for death. Of course, no one wants to die. Ask a person what his last wish is, and he will say, I want a second opinion. I want to change my doctor. So everyone wants to live forever young. There was a song, Forever Young. I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Yes. So who does all this karma? The karta, the doer. And so there is a risk in our astrological practice or in the way in which we live our lives that we are reinforcing the notion that I am a separate doer that is bound by planetary influences. I am a separate experiencer bound by planetary influences. I saw a lovely meme, which has all the planets, and it said in bold letters, do not blame us for your bad behavior. So the same Veda that gives us Karma Kanda also has given us Jnana Kanda. Karma is for the karta, is for the doer. But if you have been there, done the karma, seen the limitation of karma, then what? Then you come to the Upanishad. It is the karta that says, I am affected. Okay, I am all the time, I'm affected. A lot of people are doing karma towards me. Wars are happening, my family and my friends, and they are saying things, they are doing things. I identify myself as a victim of karma. Then maybe I take some little charge of my life and then I'll say, okay, I am affected, but I will take charge, I will do karma. Then what happens? My identity shifts from being a survivor of karma to an achiever of karma. But still, karma game is like the game of snakes and ladders. Okay, very beautiful game. I'm guessing most of you all have seen the game or played it. Earlier used to be moksha patam. So there is a board game, 1 to 100. You have to throw the dice, and depending on the numbers, you move all the way from 1 to 100. Along the way, there are some snakes, and then there are some ladders. So the snakes are really our papa karma, in the sense that suppose you reach some 51, and if you reach the mouth of a snake, then you have to slide down and you will come down all the way to maybe 17. Okay, so karma is not linear. Likewise, you could be at 9, and then suddenly, when you reach 9, you get one ladder up which takes you straight all the way to 51. So tremendous punya that manifested in your life, and now you got a head start. So karma is not linear, but what by constantly doing karma and not questioning it, what happens is this identity of being a karta, a doer, just takes us from one happiness, experiential happiness, to another, to another, to another. And so the question to ask ourselves is, as the doer of karma, as the experiencer of karma, has it brought me lasting happiness? Of course, when you climb the ladders, life was great. When you slithered down the stakes, life was hopeless. Either way, we seem to be at the mercy of karma. It makes us very anxious, hyper vigilant about what lies in the shadows or when is the next high. And so, this identity as the doer, as the experiencer, has become our reality. And so, we are always trying to build it, enhance it. We're very offended if someone says something against us because it is an attack on our identity. So, Adi Shankaracharya in his Bhaja Govindam, he says very beautifully, Balastavat krida saktaha. People are so busy, the child is very busy playing. Then as you become older, tarunastavat taruni saktaha. So taruna, the young person, what do you think the young person is going to be busy with? A taruni, another young person. So they have no time for anything else. Then vriddhastavat chinta saktaha. Then as you grow older, so much worry and anxiety. Will my fixed deposits give me the returns I need? Or will the stock market crash? But then Shankaracharya says, Pare Brahmani no kopina sakta. So, but there is no one. Everybody seems to be busy with whatever is their age and stage of life. But there is no one who wants to inquire and immerse oneself in Parabrahman. And so he says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. So may you seek to know Bhagavan. If you wear shoes that are small for you, then you get shoe bite. If you wear clothes that are too small for you, then your body becomes tensed and cannot relax. When you wear limited thoughts about your identity, about who you are, what you feel, how you feel, and you hold these kind of limiting thoughts, I am not enough, I don't have enough, then it's very suffocating. And as a doer and as an experiencer, when can you truly say that I am enough? I have enough? Never. Never possible. Why? Because it's a limited identity, always seeking the next goalpost. So the irony of seeking is that we have to see that I am seeking because I no longer want to seek. This wanting mind has to resolve. And so only when this human problem of limitation is understood, that I want to be free from seeking, and that will not come by me doing more karma or by me having more experiences. That what I am seeking is an end to seeking, and that is praptasya praptihi, the nature that is mine, which is revealed by the Veda as consciousness. That I really don't have to do any special karma to recognize that I was always free. But I have to commit to a dedicated pursuit of moksha Vedanta. So the inquiry is very, very important, and all our karma prepares us for the inquiry into the Shastra with the help of a guru. We start where we are. So, does my karma really define me? Because what defines you cannot change about you. Fire is always hot. It's not subject to choice. Fire say, oh, today I'd like to be warm. Maybe tomorrow I'd like to be cold. No. So if it is fire, it has to be hot. It has to burn. So if karma really defined you, if what you did really defined you, you would be frozen either eating or talking or walking. But your karma phala, all the events in your life also do not define you. Yes, they have an impact on you. But if it was your permanent state, then there could be no other events unfolding in your life. So the important thing that we understand in our inquiry is that all our experiences, all our karma phala or results of karma, they come and they go. But there is something that is constant in and through all these experiences. The subject, the one who is aware of what happened 20 years ago, or the one who has plans for the future. And this witness consciousness is the one that is present in both the doer and the experience. The identity of the doer and the experiencer, that is temporary, because we all get respite from it every night when we go to sleep. Even if you are kicking someone in your sleep, you are not the doer. Okay, everything resolves. And so, both as an astrologer as well as for your clients, in the long term, you cannot be stuck at the level of being the doer and the experience. Because the Vedanta was meant for you to be liberated, for you to come to Vedanta and recognize what your true nature is. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. So very, very tongue-in-cheek and very beautifully, he says that really speaking all the karma that you are claiming as yours or others, it is all done by Prakriti, it is all play of gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, and but deluded by that. The ahankara thinks, I am the doer. Karta aham iti manyate. But ahankara is what? Your self-concept. It is vimudhatma. So Atma really speaking, but identified so much with karma that thinks I am the doer. So these are all manifestations of Prakriti, all manifestations of Bhagwan operating through the gunas, and the sense of being separate as a doer, as an experiencer, is because of avidya, ignorance. And so this achiever, when that identity starts to shift, when you start to question, really, is that all that there is to life? Is there more? I want to know who I am. Then that seeker is what brings you to a dedicated Vedanta pursuit. And then that person can recognize that these identities of doer experiencer, they are changing. Dehi nityamabadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. So the one who has the deha, the body, dehi, another word for the Atma, I. Who is that Atma? Nityam, always there, so can never, never be destroyed. The body, of course, is subject to change because that is the nature of the body, that is the nature of Prakriti. So, really, we are being prepared to be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So, Bhagavan also says, Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. So, having attained me, Bhagavan, the jivas will not take birth. Punarjanma na. Why? In what? In dukkha. Dukkha alayam. In an abode of dukkha. What is that? Oh, the body. Why? Because having gained me, they now reach the highest goal, paramam gatim. So in your own life, in all our lives, we see that we will grow in our focus from getting lost in just planetary configurations and predictions to deeper questions of what is it that I'm really here for? What is my purpose? And I want to be free from seeking, and that will only come by recognizing I was always free. But that requires a dedicated Vedanta pursuit. And so you are able to see karma as play of gunas, play of Maya Shakti, while the true self that you are is really untouched. So Bhagavan also says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapaha, na shoshayati marutaha. So what you truly are, which is the Atma, na enam chindati, weapons cannot cut it. Body, mind, yeah, sure, but what you really are, nobody can destroy you. Fire cannot burn you. Water cannot wet you or even cause a tsunami. Wind cannot dry you up. Basically, even the Pancha Mahabhutas that this body mind is made up of cannot touch who you really are as the Atma. Because body mind, gunas, karma, prakriti is changing. It is subject to coming and going. It is temporary. But what you really are, the one who is aware of all of these changes, the gunas, the one who is aware of all the gunas, the one who is aware of all the karma, the one who is aware of all the experiences, that is not subject to coming and going. What you really are is nitya, eternal, isness. That is what you truly are. And so, in your own life, you find yourself moving from parihara to sadhana. Earlier, you wanted to change your external circumstances so that you could become a more refined doer or experiencer. But now you are seeking a more long term relationship with Bhagwan, the one who has been through all lifetimes with you. Okay, and you seek to transform yourself through your sadhana. As I heard this brilliant statement, only fools obey planets, wise people direct them. And so, as you chart the direction of your life, that I am committed to a moksha pursuit alongside the karma that I am doing, I can remain as the sakshi, as the witness of all of this, including all the planets, without being controlled by them. Udasinavadasinah gunairyo na vichalyate guna vartanta ityeva yovatishtati ningate. So seated as if indifferent, unshaken by the gunas, knowing that they operate, I remain firm and unmoved. So the mature seeker grows out of predictions of situations to understand that true freedom does not lie in planetary alignment, but in recognizing that I am free. I was always free, and I was always free of all these forms. And so I will close with a verse from the Dakshina Murti Stotram, the Guru of Gurus, today on a Guru Vara. So one of the verses says, Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tatha sarva swavastha swapi vyavritta svanuvartamanam ahamityantas purantam sada swatmanam prakatīkaroti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So Namaha to Shri Dakshinamurti, who is in the form of my Guru, who reveals to his disciples through this auspicious sign of knowledge, the Jnana Mudra. So here the three fingers stand for Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, or they could stand for the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of experience. So here the jiva is caught up with all of this. But when this jiva, and the jiva thinks that, is independent, this jiva thinks that it is independent of Bhagwan and struggles with separation. But when that jiva comes, or rather seeks Bhagwan and comes together in a circle in this infinity, which has no beginning, no end. infinity. Huh? That's what you truly are, infinite. That is the jnanam. This is the jnana mudra. So Dakshinamurti has the jnana mudra. He reveals the truth of who you really are. And how is he present? Where is he present? Oh, vyavritta svanu vartamana mahima. Maham ityanta spurantam sada. He is present as ever present as I, always present in everyone's heart. But then what about all those entities? And I was the doer experiencer of all these stages of life. Yes, in your balya avastha, in your childhood, in your youth, and then even in the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, the one who has been present in all these conditions, the one who is present as I, Nityam, Bhagavan Sri Dakshinamurti teaches you the truth of that. And so to that Dakshinamurti, our Namaha. So, really speaking, all of us, we hold a sacred responsibility. And while planetary influences are real at the relative level, at the absolute level, there is only one reality, which is you. And so, as the guardians of an ancient wisdom tradition, Vedanga, that my prayers that all of you may be liberated, and prayers that all of you also lead people to liberation, because you are helping to preserve Sanatana Dharma by encouraging the practice of karma, yajna, daana, tapas. You are helping people break free from the limitations of karma so that they focus on the moksha pursuit. And then through our karma, we are pushing the boundaries of our body mind such that we are able to realize we are more than the body mind, and we can truly break free from these limiting identities. So asato ma sadgamaya, may we uh, you know uh, lead us from asat, from that which is false, which is not true, unto truth. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, lead me from darkness unto light. Mrityorma amritam gamaya, lead me, Bhagwan, from death to immortality. Om Tat Sat.
Wow, Swamini ji, amazing advice. No doubt about that. Um, wow. It's tough, to keep kind of segregate, especially because it concerns work, you see. And so it's like a thin line. And also, uh, I think maybe with Vedanta it doesn't have that problem of projection, perhaps not to such an extent. But what I have found, and it's true that you literally, like even the traditional Tamil astrologers, and Kerala or any tradition you take, they will all say that at the minute you open somebody's chart, you are incurring some of their karma onto you. So when you said like through tapas, because that's the only way to burn off a lot of the negativity coming towards you, because it is mostly negative. I mean, it's not a judgment. It is what it is. People are not going to come when they are super happy and everything is working well for them, right? So, you mentioned about the tapas part of it, that through tapas and um ceremonies like homa and all that, but the question is, there's no limit, right? Like you can keep embroiled in that and keep doing it, and the question is like, at what point does one think it's enough? Okay, one has done enough. Or it's like, like those people who keep doing homa, like it's like their go-to thing, like, okay, any problem, let's do a homa. It's become like a trend. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, towards the second part of my talk, I highlighted that karma can only give you limited result. And so even if you do homa morning, afternoon, night, let's say,
Mm.
okay, it will give you limited results. But that's not enough for the human heart. The human heart will be satisfied only when it recognizes it is Purna. And the very Veda that talks about doing the Homa also points to your real nature, to the reality that you are. So it's important to not get stuck at the level of karta. Just because you are doing Homa, it doesn't mean that you need to have some intellectual superiority or a religious superiority, saying that, oh, I'm doing such elevated karma. At best, you are a karta. Whether you are a religious karta or you are a worldly karta. Is that your true identity? No, because it's changing. And so to call the bluff of karma, saying that as long as my dharma, artha, kama is sorted, that's great. But my heart will only be satisfied when I recognize who I am. And that is limitless, that is purnam, that is fullness. And so we see what karma can do for us, we see what karma cannot do for us, and then we use the punya that we have gained through all the karma and dedicate ourselves to the Vedanta pursuit alongside other things. It's like if death came knocking on your door, and let's say one has lived 85 years, and then we'll say, no, 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 give me at least 1 week. Let's say, we're negotiating with death. And death, or Bhagwan Yama will say, well, you had 85 years. What did you do with that? If you didn't do what you wanted to do with your 85 years, do you really think you're going to do something in 1 week? So it's really to make the most of one's life. And the Vedic vision is that our life is complete only with dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You cannot be stuck at the level of artha and kama.
Thank you very much. And Swamini B has answered so many questions of mine. So with great gratitude, thank you very much.
Yes, yes. You should join her classes, Oksana, especially for you.
Yes, I know,
You'll
Sonal.
love
Yeah.
them. Yeah.